No, Jaden, I gotta save up for my collection, man. For OP collection, man. It's the new headpiece and neck piece.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Yeah, I'll help you. Are you talking about PvP? Nah, it's okay. So you know how I got the setup for this? Well, I'm still working on the mods. So, but besides that, it doesn't matter as long as you get points, win or lose. Yeah. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Like, you just have to, like, earn your armor. You just have to burn through it. To be honest, Rihanna, you know how fast I got this? Okay, one day, for 1 week, I just played PvP matches over and over and over. Because you don't need any replay badges. It's always free. You're always dominating if you're playing single player. The reason why it's important to play single player, I'm just telling you this now, is because it helps you play different characters with different powers and different weapons, right? It depends on how you kind of see their movements, how they use their powers and their weapons, so that every time you go in the match, win or lose, you get experience from that, right? So you get that armor, you get those points, and how you're leveling up your gear. Just as long as you play in there, win or lose. And then it helps because it helps build skill for the PvP. What are you trying to do? Oh, you're trying to do this. You're trying to do little missions. Alright, I got you. And Rihanna, to be honest with you, yeah, okay, so, with that too, Rihanna, there's a lot of people that's dissing the game and everything and how the functions of the, like, setup of how you play your role or how you use your powers. It's more of, like how you base, not just, like, your techniques, but your skill points and how you put them in your stats. So when it comes to your PvP, make sure that I made a mistake. Because tanking PvP is really OP. when it's a DPS using powers, it's like up and down. It depends on like the power itself, because you know how some powers are broken in PvP. Like let's say electric used to be atomic. I can deal with atomic now, but certain powers are like kind of broken. So when they use their healing factor or anything like that, like whatever damage they give you, you're trying to give them, it doesn't affect them. Their healing factor will just regenerate their power or health, which made it unfair. That's why I kind of stopped playing it so much. But for me playing it single player, doing the solos, like you know how you do those solo duels from the lair or from those two arenas, you could do it two player or single player. Keep doing that more often. Like for 1 week, just find a group or just do it yourself and keep doing those points, because they're free. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait until tomorrow for the reset or to get any points out of it. It's automatic since it's online. The raid is pretty much just a reset of earning the gear and points. I wanted to tell you that just to let you know that you can get a shortcut out of it. Oh, and your legendaries too. You gotta make sure that you know how we go to the legendary maps and you go to legendaries, and it's throughout the raids that we did in the past, or we're going to do, like Paradox or whatever. Well, there'll probably be a story for those characters, those tunes that you unlock for legendary, and then make sure it's kind of based on most of the feats. So you target them the most, and you get all the team ups and all the challenges that require that character, that tune, superhero, villain. So you get your skill point, you get your feats. Oh, I didn't show you my DPS. So Rihanna, this is another thing I want to tell you too. How many armories do you have? Oh, okay. So the best way to honestly tell you, Rihanna, and the most functional way where it kind of makes more sense, balances everything. Remember how we used to have? This is kind of a different example from the 90s. Remember we used to have cheat codes? Remember we would have cheat codes, we would either have to look it through online, maybe if you had internet, or if you had the books for like Grand Theft Auto or whatever. The best kind of cheat code you would kind of figure out, where if you don't know how to look up a feat or a raid, is you look it up on YouTube. YouTube is pretty much the source of this game when it comes to getting your skill points, getting your collections, getting anything that's entitled in the game, from story, from raids, duos, all that. So when you go to your inventory, to your trophies, you know where it says feats, right? I know you know what that means. So with that feats location right there, you know how there's a summary, a league's PVE. The league's PVE is all those missions that we play throughout with our character, but then there's those missions that require you to play with different heroes or villains. You know what I mean? So when you're done with that mission, and those missions reset like for every switch to different missions itself, every 4 to 5 days. So about 4 days to a week, and from there, they switch off to different missions where you can use different heroes and villains when you unlock them. And that PvP mission is basically the only way you can do it, is doing those solos, those arena matches, or getting those points from doing those Legend PvE. And from there, what you want to do is you put DCUO on YouTube, put DCUO, like the title, and then you say everything that's titled blue. Those are the missions or challenges that throughout the game you have to complete. So it says complete 25 Legend PvE events with Batman related characters, or The same thing with Superman or Wonder Woman. Like anything that involves Batman or Superman, if you have those characters and you use them constantly, that's part of the feat. It's because it's basically more like you're doing it constantly and you're keeping track of how many times you have to do that mission in order to get that point. Because there's 3 stars. 1 star means 10 points. Then you get that, that thing that pops up saying you got a feat because you did something or you collected something. That's what that is. It's you have to get everything like a riddle, like you collect every puzzle and then you get the reward, and then it'll come in the mail. But each star means different points. So the second star means 25. So 25 would be basically one of the most important. 25 and 50. So the 50 is 3 points, right? 3 stars. When you get those points and you get 100, that's 1 skill point. And keep in mind, what you want to do to maintain your character's role is you want as much dominance and health as possible. Because in my DPS, all I'm focused on is might, precision, and health. Everything else from my DPS, I'm not touching. No dominance, nothing. Because you want to make sure he's as strong as possible. But the way you kind of organize it is pick your favorite style of weapon. Like your favorite weapon that you're always comfortable with the technique, weapon structure, and how you use your combos, right? So when you collect your weapon, study the weapon mastery. You know what the weapon mastery is, right? Like getting better combos with. Okay, so just focus on that, like those 3 weapons basically, because you have to get 2 different weapons to unlock those 4 spots right there in the bottom. Yeah, just focus on those 3 weapons. Focus on because that's basically what you did and what you were based on better techniques, right? Better combos, better defense, because you studied that move constantly. So when you do that, you're comfortable with your technique, with your weapons, and your main weapon is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the 3 weapons that you unlock, just the main one. And then when you get to that, get to your icon, okay? And since I'm a tank, I'm going to tell you what I would put. Hold on, since you're tanking. For my icon powers, I would put the lasso, because it's a single pull that's very important. That makes sure that the enemy, boss, or whatever, it's basically focused on you. You know that. And you want to make sure that the taunts and everything that you have, the pulls, the group pulls and everything like that, is mainly focused on what we have to do is the ads and then the boss again, right? And then the other one you would really want is Amazonium deflection. Yeah, deflection. Yeah, it's on the top left. Yeah, where he's kind of like blocking like that. You would definitely want that. Depending on like what's the situation. The kind of way you would want to do that is if it's a final blow. So like if it's from a boss or from like a dual fight like between me or you or something like that, you would use it at a timing being like you would do it at a timing where he's gonna do his fatal attack. So when he tries to do that on you, it messes him up. It fucks him up. Oh, sorry, excuse my language. But yeah, and then one in the bottom was good. Super strength. You definitely want that because it boosts your character's momentum, like strength in basic combat, because it makes his weapon stronger by 10%. And if you have mods and stuff like that, so it would boost it by 10%. And then from your stats, so the way I did it is there's 3 different types of power set up for your stats. There's focused on expert on weapons, and then there's a hybrid focused on like different techniques on how you use your powers and then how you use your weapons in general. And that's why I had you do the, or I told you to to put those 3 weapons as your weapon mastery and focus on your main technique for the base weapon. So when you do that, this is what you really want to focus on. You want to be focused on the healing, control, a little bit of control. So you see where it says critical healing chance, and then critical healing magnified on the bottom. Those 2. Okay, this is the first 2 you want to fill out. But if you have, like, let's say 150 or 160 skill points, this is an example. I would put the first one for the top, middle. I would put about 10. Okay, and the second one for the magnified, about 15, 20. Okay, and then once you get to it, and this is basically what they did, what I liked the most out of the game itself, on how they structure the game. Yeah, there's different tweaks that they need to do with powers. Yeah, they need to do where it's more balanced towards the power itself. Nothing has to do with skill points. So it makes it a fair battle, for example, in PvP. When it comes to PvP tanks, they're unstoppable. You can't kill them because their health regenerates like that, like crazy. You can't beat them, right? So what they need to do is just fix the power in general, like make it like where it's based on the skill points. It molds the power, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really your power, your strength. Because your CR is basically just taking the damage anyway. So what you want to do is, you go down and it says health. You want them down, just put at least a little balance of health as much as possible because you're regenerating from all the damage. But the main one you really want to focus on for every tank is all the way down in the right corner is dominance. You want as much dominance for your character as much as point. Oh, okay. So what you need to do, okay, so this is perfect example then. All right, so you basically went through all the missions, not really focus on each mission and getting the little challenge. You know how they say beat the boss in 10 minutes for that mission, before he can use his power or whatever. For example, like let's say Area 51. Let's say that did happen or that was requested. You didn't have time. You were just gathering the gear. What I would recommend is for you to do this because it's worth a lot of skill points. It's pretty easy. Did you do all your? What is your ability? Flight, running. What is it? Flight. Did you already complete all the flights, the missions? Okay. Okay, the reason why I'm kind of suggesting you do this in your spare time, I'm trying to help you out with skill points as much as possible, Anna, because you seem cool as fuck. So I'm gonna be real. You need to practice doing that, like around Gotham and Metropolis. It's because it helps you balance your character's movements. Like when you're flying or in a rush or whatever. Like it's easy for you to balance it because those little routes that they give you in each run when you have to fly in each little ring, it kind of helps you balance on your character's ability. You know what I mean? It makes it more capable of doing more things. You're more, you notice more about your ability on flight. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Because it's cool to have those skill points. Because if you do them, it's skill points. You know what I mean? And skill points help a lot anyway. Dude, that's one. That's the easy one that you should do it. You don't really have to look that up. It's basically just look for it, and it's a purple thing that glows from each checkpoint. Okay, that's the easy one. I would like you to do because it's fun. You have to keep doing it. And the best, my advice to do those races, complete the race. You don't have to win it right away. study where everything is located. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how there's a track? If you feel like you have to start all over, do it again, and then learn the speed. Does that make any sense? Yeah, exactly. And then go with it. And then, like, once you do all like that, then yeah, cool. And then it gets harder. Oh, and then one thing too, Rihanna, the if you ever get to it and you really get hard to figure it out, there's one part of the feat where you're not supposed to use the speed. You know, the speed where you go fast. You just have to beat the mission at a timely fashion. Like, you have to beat it at a certain time. I have it already because I have everything planned for the races. Just FYI. So when it comes to it, you can't use that speed. You have to use your actual character's movement at that point. If you don't beat it at a certain time, you lose, or you don't get it. Okay, that's the easy one. And the one I want you to do too, go to your feats menu, and then once you go to your feats menu, scroll down to solos. Under explorations, right? You click that. You see where it says survival, contracts, hideouts, icon battles, and everything like that. Okay, so the icon battles, for example, are in Gotham and Metropolis. You know how like ads pop out of nowhere? It's the same thing with those bosses. Um, so for those iconic battles, this basically tells you where they're located. So, for example, defeat the judge in downtown Metropolis. So you just go downtown Metropolis, and then look for judge. You know, around there kicking it, killing people or whatever. You know, stuff like that, like little simple stuff, like getting to know the map. That's what I want you to do that. And then when it comes to, I'm gonna help you. I'm just explaining a little bit. Solos, hidden hideouts. So with these, let me see how I gotta remember these. Okay, so sometimes how do I explain this? I'll explain that one. The hideouts is kind of, you have to get more detailed into that. Okay, contracts. So contracts are missions that you do in Gotham and Metropolis. You know those little missions where you either have to help the police officer or the scientist? What's up? Hold on. Do you want to? No, I got you. Let's go do some missions. Cue it up. Do as many as possible. Are you legendary or premium? Okay, so oh, okay. All right, so this is the, if you really want to get really good at this, and you really want to be smart about it, you want to be hustle, you want to make some real money, Rihanna. Okay, so my advice on to make me in this game, a lot of people say it's pay to win. No, it's really not. It's more on how you use your time playing the game. I'll play this after we beat this real quick. So yeah, I'll go to DPS. like we're queuing up. Nah, queue out of that. Doesn't look like we're gonna queue up from there. No, I'm sorry. I tried to make sure you get the best out of it. Okay, so legendary and premium. The only difference between that is you're only allowed to play with your pretty much CRs based. So at your level, you're only limited to certain missions and certain missions throughout this watchtower. So only parts of the watchtower basically is what you're able to do. And right now, you're not able to really do much because once you unlock them and you do the match and you beat the boss and you get all the gear, you either have to wait for the reset, and the only ones that reset every day are the daily missions. You know how you have to queue up for that mission for that location in general to get the gear or whatever for the points? Okay, so those that reset every day, depending on the mission. Uh, it's not. If she comes back, I'll help her.
Waller here. This affair is now under Task Force X jurisdiction. I've assigned members of the Suicide Squad to assist you in your objectives. Just keep your nose down. The squad won't step a toe out of line.
Gordon's range as mayor of Gotham is over. He's going to answer for his actions. I'm going to find this clue what happened to the Richard Tracer of this world.
Call an ambulance! Requesting backup!
Cool.
You again? How dare you come into my house and disrupt my re-election party?
How dare you use the office of mayor for extortion, corruption, and murder? The Jim Gordon I know would have no part in it.
Who in the blazes are you? Don't act like you know me, you cut-rate owlman knockoff. I'm the mayor of Gotham City, and you and your pals are done.
What's up?
Activate the automated defenses.
Where's the tip trying to get this done because my group sucks fucking balls.
All units, move in. Form a wall. Damn it.
Gordon thinks he's safe behind that
Stop the Gordon! You can't run from me. He's heading for the elevator. I'm going after him. Take out the rest of his men. Officer down!
If you want to get the feet, you have to get the robot on the other side.
I want to get this done.
You want to get it done?
Yes, I want to get this. If you guys need the feet, we'll go get the feet. I've already got it, and I want to get this done.
Oh, okay.
This is my fourth attempt trying to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything we're doing right now, I don't get it.
I don't need it, I was just saying.
Why would you put those bad guys in here? Don't you want to fight?
What do we have here? Does someone want to throw themselves on the mercy of the court? There is no mercy. There is only crime and punishment. So come forward and face the judge, jury, and executioner of Gotham City.
That's one.
Well, they wouldn't have came in if you didn't pull them in the first place. Or whoever did.
For Emperor, man. Human kill, that's what it is.
Officers of the court, download the power profiles of former inmates. The Justice Underground. Use them to move out justice.
Downloading the vulnerability profile. Vulnerability profile.
Find human consent. Order in the court.
Vulnerability profile.
We find human consent. Order in the court.
Suspect has been imprisoned. Abilities have been suppressed. Ability to use a constituted as administrator. Containment view clear.
Bailiffs, escort these prisoners into the holding cells. Their powers are useless. We find human contempt.
Suspect has been imprisoned. Ability to vulnerability profile. Containment view clear.
Suddenly, I don't know where I'm locked up. My weapon's gone. Why didn't they do that to everybody in the first place? There, they win.
Meeting coordinates for security. 5,
This is the GCPD. I'm hit!
I'm hit!
Dispatch! We got a 1035 here. Dispatch! We got a 1035 here.
5, 4, 3,
Requesting backup.
1.
Don't do it, punk.
Call an ambulance!
I'm hit! Officer down! Request assistance! You think you can take Gotham from me? Think again. I put up the signal. He's coming.
No one operates in my city without paying a price. I'll take yours in blood. Good, but not good enough. Short parties always bring the house down, don't you think? That won't be forgotten. An eye for an eye. You don't have the guts for this.
If you crime family capitals want to keep our arrangements, then get these bastards.
Your loved ones will pay for that.
That's gonna leave him on.
An eye for an eye. Time to kick this party up a notch. Here are more lovely door prizes for you party goers.
I didn't invite you goons for the open bar and the antipasta. Kill them, you goombas!
Gotham is mine. Everyone here has had a small yet effective explosive device planted on them. Good luck disarming them before they go. Your loved ones will pay for that. That won't be forgotten. I held a raffle for everyone in the gala. The selected lucky winners by all means, keep distracting yourself with your pitiful lives. Good, but not good enough. You don't have the guts for this. Good, but not good enough. As this extravaganza comes to a close, I have one last round of party gifts to do.
Don't just
A
stand
smart
there.
man will always
Don't
do
man.
anything and everything.
You punch like a twat. That hurt.
That won't be forgotten. Your loved ones will pay for that. An eye for an eye. You don't have the guts for this.
It's over, Gordon. I saw the cover-up files in Montoya's office. Tell me what happened to Richard Grayson.
It was all him. Owlman bumped off the kid's parents so that Thomas Wayne could adopt him. He forced the kid to join the crime syndicate.
You simpering worm, Gordon.
You murdered his parents.
Spare me. Gordon used their blood money to buy votes.
It's true, but you got him killed.
Shut your mouth.
You let him face the Joker alone.
Shut your mouth!